Hey Megan, can you help me with X-bar theory?
Actually, I was going to ask you for help. I'm having a hard time understanding this.
Let's talk through it together. Two heads are better than one, even if they're both full of wine.
Ha 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 ha. Let's start with a basic phrase. How about an NP plus PP? The hot professor of syntax.
Okay, like this?
Yeah.
Can we do the one replacement here?
Well, what would that look like?
Well, if I tell you I met with the professor of syntax and you ask which one, I say the hot one, which shows that one replaces professor of syntax. The way this flat tree goes doesn't show that relationship, which is why we have to do an X-bar.
So with X bar theory, what does the tree look like?
Looks like this!
Okay. I want to try one with a verb phrase. Can you give me one?
Sell the cookies.
Okay. Does this look right?
Well, that's close. Remember that with the X bar tree, the NP, the cookies right here, this is going to branch from V bar, not VP like in the flat trees.
Okay, and that rule applies to adjective phrases and adverb phrases too. Yes, they have to branch from the bar level, not the phrase level.
That's correct. But don't forget the other so replacement rule that really only applies to adjectives. For example, Bob is very serious about Mary, but less so than Paul.
What's a different example?
The very hot professor of syntax is more so than the professor of research methods.
Is that replacing the very hot professor of syntax?
No, it's only replacing the adjective hot.
Okay. Want to try drawing a simple flat tree and then draw one with an X bar?
Okay, how about this sentence? We should buy a ticket for PA immediately.
Okay. We have an NP we, modal T should, VP buy, NP a ticket, PP for PA, and adverb phrase for immediately. Can we use one replacement here?
Yes. Remember the example in the textbook? I bought the big book of poems with the blue cover, not the small one. One replaces book of poems with the blue cover.
So that means that with our sentence, we can say we should buy a ticket for PA immediately and Jade should buy one too.
Correct. Yeah, you got it.
Can you show me an example of do so replacement?
I'll try. Here's the sentence. He was reading the textbook with no glasses.
Does did so replace was reading the textbook with no glasses?
No, because remember that the tense has to carry over. It'd be something like he was reading the textbook with no glasses and his wife was doing so too.
Oh, okay, I see. So, how do complement specifiers and adjuncts fit into everything?
Well, this has to do with levels. Think about the example in the book with PPs, the book of poems with the glossy cover. One P is sister to a bar level, N bar. The other is sister to a head, N. Do you remember which one is the adjunct and which one is the complement?
Well, the adjunct is always higher than the complement, so it would be the sister to the bar level, and the complement would be the sister to a head, right?
Yeah, good memory. Adjuncts are XPs that are sisters to single bar levels.
And that can be any bar, right? An N, a V, an A, or P?
Yes, adjuncts are also daughters of X bar.
Okay, so then that means a complement is a sister to a head, N, V, A, or P. Is a complement a daughter of a bar level?
Yes, it is the daughter of a single bar level, N bar, V bar, A bar, or P bar. Here's an example of what that looks like.
Oh, okay, I get it. Thanks for explaining that to me.
So, do you understand adjuncts and complements?
Well, I'm still a little confused, but let's work through it together and maybe it'll make more sense.
Okay, great. All right, so let's look at some sentences and then we'll identify the adjuncts and the complements and the heads and all the pieces, and then we'll see if we can draw a tree from that, okay?
Okay.
So let's start here. Okay, a plastic statue of the queen on the dashboard. So we'll go through, okay, what can you identify here in this sentence right now?
Okay, well, let's start with specifiers. So A is a specifier. Of the queen, the is a specifier, and on the dashboard, the is a specifier. Right?
Yeah, you got it. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, what do you think what are the phrases in this noun phrase?
Okay, so a plastic statue is a noun phrase. Of the queen is a prepositional phrase, and on the dashboard is a prepositional phrase.
Yeah, you got it. That's correct.
And within those, then adjective phrase plastic is the head.
Uh-huh.
And then of is the head of the prepositional phrase, and then on is the head of the second prepositional phrase.
Right, right, right.
Oh, I'm sorry. Statue is the head, not.
No, no,
Oh,
you
I'm
were
sorry.
right about
No,
that.
you're right. Plastic is the head
We're
of
gonna
the
have to redo this
adjective
one.
phrase, and statue is the head of the noun phrase.
Yeah, you got it.
Okay, I get
Perfect,
it.
perfect, perfect.
Okay.
Okay, great. So now can you see any compliments in this phrase?
Okay, so of the queen has to be a compliment, right?
Well, let's say it. All right, let's go. What about adjuncts? What do you think?
Well, I think the first adjunct is a plastic statue, and then the second one is the on the dashboard.
Okay, sounds great. Okay, and just tell me a little bit about why you think that then.
Well, with the first adjunct, a plastic statue, you can add in additional adjuncts so they stack on top of each other. For example, I could say a tiny yellow plastic expensive statue, and it doesn't change that phrase.
Right.
And then with the other adjunct on the dashboard, I can add in additional prepositional phrases like on the dashboard, in the car, in the garage, and so on.
Right. Mm-hmm.
But compliments, I remember from class, Jenny was saying how of phrases following a noun are typically complements. They're not going to be adjuncts because it sounds weird if you add in more.
Sure, like of the queen, of Westeros.
Right. It doesn't make it doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Okay, great. All right, fantastic. Okay, so given this information, can we draw a tree for this verb phrase?
Yes.
All right, cool. What do we got?
Okay, so we're going to start with an NP, and that's going to branch out to a determiner, A, and then from NP you go to N bar, and then N bar actually branches to another N bar, and from there you're going to have the adjective phrase, which is the adjunct, and then adj bar, adjective plastic. And then from that second N bar, you're going to have another N bar branching to noun statue. And from the second N bar, you're going to have PP coming down to P bar, P of, and then have a noun phrase, the queen, coming out of that P bar, right?
Yeah, looking good so far.
Okay. And then you're going to have the first N bar branching to a prepositional phrase, which is the other adjunct. And you know that because it's sister to a bar and daughter of a bar. And then from there it branches to P bar, which branches to P on. And then from P bar, you get the end phrase, the rest of the sentence, which is the dashboard.
Ah, man, that looks really good, Megan. Okay, yeah, so this is right. And then, so we see, and you said that a little bit here, but we've got that right here. You see how these adjuncts right here, how they are sisters to bars, and daughters to bars.
Mm-hmm.
And the complement right here, see, regardless of where it looks on the tree,
right,
it's still a sister to a head,
right,
and it's still a daughter of this bar.
And that fulfills the complement definition.
Perfect.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Okay, now let's do kind of a complicated verb phrase too.
Okay.
Because this can get kind of hard.
Yeah.
Okay. So what about let's go through meatballs at the wall with a spoon on Tuesday.
Oh geez. Okay.
You got this.
So starting with specifiers, we have at the wall, so the is the specifier there, and then with a spoon, is the specifier, but that's all. And then when we go through and label the phrases, so we have through meatballs, which is the verb phrase. We have prepositional phrase at the wall, another prepositional phrase with a spoon, and then the third prepositional phrase on Tuesday. And then within those, in the VP through meatballs, the head verb is through, and then the head noun is going to be meatballs. And then at the wall, at is going to be the prepositional head, and then wall is going to be the noun phrase head. And then in the next one, it's going to follow that same pattern. So with is the prepositional phrase, spoon is the noun phrase head, and then on Tuesday, on is the prepositional head, and the noun phrase head is Tuesday, right?
Yeah, you got it. You're looking good. Okay. And then and out of all these, so I see that you've got adjuncts here.
Right, because you can keep stacking them on top of each other.
Absolutely, yeah.
Right.
But you've got meatballs being a complement.
Right, because you're not going to stack up complements on top of each other.
Sure, yeah. Through meatballs, spaghetti,
right,
rice.
It sounds weird. You would never say that.
Okay, great. All right, so then the tree for this verb phrase.
Okay, this is going to be intense. Okay, so we know we have 3 adjuncts. So it's going to start with VP to V bar. V bar is going to branch to another V bar. And from there, you're going to get the prepositional phrase, which is going to branch down to P bar, P, and then from P bar, you're going to go noun phrase, determiner, and then spoon. But that second V bar is going to branch to another V bar. You're going to have that same pattern. You're going to go to the third V bar, but this is where the noun phrase becomes a complement. It's not an adjunct, right?
Sure, yeah, because look right here. It's sister to a head and daughter of a bar. Yep, you got it.
Okay.
And then, so do you see why there's so many V bars down here? Doesn't that look kind of weird?
It does look like an excessive amount, but I'm not sure if I'm understanding it right.
So this is going to be all about which of these phrases can be replaced with do so.
Right.
So what you want to go, yeah, exactly. So what you want to do is you want to go through each of these, since the fact that through meatballs, I'm sorry, is that through at the wall is a V bar.
Right.
Through with a spoon is a V bar. Yes. Through on Tuesday is a V bar, because all those can be replaced by one.
Right. So
and
that's why you need that many V bars.
And also the thing is you have to remember your rules, okay? The way that the rules go, like, you know, where would these go? Like the V bar has to go to a VPP. That's the way it has to go. So we've got to connect this verb through to all of these in order to make the rules correct.
Okay, that makes sense.
To follow the rules. Yeah, totally. So then look here. Yeah, we've got all these labeled. We got complements all here. And because these are sisters to heads and daughters of bars, we got adjuncts, which are sisters and daughters of bars.
Okay.
Yeah. And so then remember these rules.
Okay.
See, like I was talking about, the V bar has to be V bar PP.
Right.
And then what V bar has to be is V optional NP. Okay. So that's the thing, is we have to have those V bars in order to have these PPs there.
Okay. That makes sense.
You got it? I think you got it.
Thank you. That was really helpful.
Yeah, it was helpful for me too.
You want to go drink wine?
Yes, let's do it. Bye.